Crystal Palace labelled demotion from UEFA Europa League to UEFA Conference League an injustice. Sporting merit is rendered meaningless. Crystal Palace have labelled their demotion from the UEFA Europa League to the UEFA Conference League as an injustice, adding that it was a moment that should mark a turning point for football. Crystal Palace qualified for the Europa League on account of winning last season's FA Cup, but were deemed by UEFA and the Court of Arbitration for Sport to have breached multi-club ownership rules. Crystal Palace said their demotion from the UEFA Europa League to the UEFA Conference League is an injustice, while claiming it shows that sporting merit is rendered meaningless. The South Londoners appealed UEFA's decision to demote them from the Europa League for what the body deemed breaches of its multi-club ownership rules, but on Monday, the Court of Arbitration for Sport (CAS) upheld UEFA's verdict. Palace qualified for the Europa League after winning the FA Cup last season, but will now be replaced in the competition by Nottingham Forest, who had initially qualified for the Conference League upon finishing 7th in last year's Premier League. In a statement issued on Tuesday, Palace said, "At a time when we should be celebrating our victory in the Community Shield at Wembley, the decision by UEFA and followed by the Court of Arbitration for Sport shows that sporting merit is rendered meaningless. When we won the FA Cup against Manchester City on that momentous day in May, our manager and players earned the right to play Europa League football. We have been denied that opportunity. It appears that certain clubs, organizations, and individuals have a unique privilege and power. This growing and unhealthy influence has shattered the hopes and dreams of Crystal Palace supporters, and does not bode well for teams all over Europe competing to progress when rules and sanctions are unevenly applied in the most flagrant way." John Textor's Eagle Football Holdings owned 43% of Crystal Palace until July, when he sold his share to New York Jets owner Woody Johnson. Textor's conflict with UEFA's rules became apparent due to his majority ownership of Lyon, who also qualified for the Europa League and took precedent in Europe's secondary competition due to their higher league placing, 6th. Then Palace, 12th, last season. Palace argued that Textor did not have a decisive influence over the club, but that argument was quashed by the three-person CAS panel who heard their appeal. Textor had until March 1 to show UEFA proof of multi-club ownership restructuring. This would have required Textor, who was in the process of selling his shares at Palace, to instead place them in a blind trust. The club's statement continued, "Multi-club structures hide behind the charade of a blind trust while clubs such as ours, who have no connection to another club whatsoever, are prevented from playing in the same competition. To compound the injustice, clubs that appear to have huge informal arrangements with each other are also allowed to participate and even possibly play against each other. While we respect the CAS tribunal members, the process is designed to severely restrict and, in our case, make it almost impossible to receive a fair hearing. The denial of all disclosure requests to obtain correspondence between the relevant parties, the refusal to allow witness testimony from those involved, and the general lack of formality and respect for law mean decisions cannot be properly challenged, leading to predetermined outcomes." UEFA's decision has wider implications for the governance of the sport. A combination of poorly conceived regulations and their unequal application means our brilliant fans will be deprived of the chance to watch this team compete in the Europa League.